The film was shot on iPhone. How was that for you as actors to use that technology?
Yeah, it was very new. I mean, it was such a different experience. I mean, probably, very.
This
It
is
was
like
same for you, I guess. You don't know any difference.
For me, I didn't know anything.
But I guess, it was very experimental, and I think that sort of set the ground for Danny and everyone, that it was just, everything was very, very bold choices and experimental, and so we could explore. But when someone puts an iPhone, very close, you feel it's a bit intrusive, you feel kind of vulnerable, and you can't hide. There's a quality about it that just shows everything, and it meant that we just had to kind of feel very present in the moment, and it was just going to capture these moments. And so it became, you got used to it very quickly, and it became such a great environment to work around.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah.
It's like, well, I do that all the time. We make movies on iPhones all the time.
With Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Don't look at what's in front of you. Boost, moving up and down again.
The world has moved on so much since we made the first film, and we used for very specific, kind of almost story reasons. At one point we were going to have a scene in the first film where a character picked up a discarded domestic video camera that was left on the ground along with all the cash and everything that's been left behind, and is now all useless. And it still worked. The battery was still live, and you could see evidence of the horrors or something touching or something like that. So we thought we'll make the film on those cameras for all sorts of reasons. It allowed us to do the opening sequence in a clever way so that we could. But technology has moved on, and we thought we've got to move on, and yet we want to respect that instinct, which is to use the ordinary in some way. So it feels like it's something that's come from the place that the story is about. And of course, we've all got the phones now. So we decided to use them. They're lightweight. They now record at 4K, but they allowed us to visit places, remote places in the UK with a very light footprint. So we used a lot of cameras. We didn't just use the iPhones, we used some special, there's a red sequence in it that's used this special Panasonic camera, the EU123 I think it's called, and we used drones which use like 6K cameras, and we unified everything with a format, with a 276, which is a widescreen format, which you can do now with all these cameras, and it's a beautiful format. It's not very much used. It's only been used in a handful of films, weirdly, over the years. But recently, Sinners used it, and The Creator used it, Oppenheimer used it, Hateful Eight is shot in it. And I love the way Tarantino uses widescreen. He's wonderful. The way he edits as well. He edits in a very different way than I edit. He lets you select as a watcher where you're watching, because you have to select on a widescreen. And I like that unease it creates when you watch this. It allows nature to be portrayed, but it's also, the danger could be anywhere within that broad scope. So yeah, it was exciting, and it allowed us we wanted to depict some of the violence in a very particular way, which is like a poor man's bullet time, the Matrix technique.
Right.
So we were able to get a load of these cameras for free and kind of like stack them, and then use this technique, which you can see a couple of times in the film, to surround an event and to kind of be able to kind of flip round the different sides of it. And sort of, my dream is trying to, you're here watching it, and my dream is always to get you to go, to flip inside it and then back out again. And we haven't got that technology yet, but one day will you just poof, like astral project inside what you're enjoying.
Right.
So anyway, but it's a kind of little way of doing that. It's a little technical way of doing that.
My children! There's no discharge in the war.